Jantam Muhunetra Yugmam Vijantam Karam Boja Yugmena Satankanetram Muhusvashakam Pachirekangkakanta Ashtitagraiva Damodaram Bhakti Varam Aiti Jaikspalila Viyananda Kunde Svagosham Nimajantam Akyapayantam Tadiyeshitagesho Bhakta Chitatvam Prematastam Shata Viktivande Vadam Deva Moksham Na Moksha Vidimva Nachanyam Vineham Varishadapiya Idante Vapunatan Gopalabala Sada me manasta virastam kimanye Mukumbojam abhyakalilai Jam kunjalai snigarasyasta gopya Damodarananta Vishnu Prashita Prabhu Dukkha Jalapimatam Kripadishi Vishati Namatadu Yudhana Samama Namo Radhikaya Tvadiya Priyaya. Namo Nanda Lilaya Devaya Turyam. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, all the devotees, Nanda, all our viewers, good morning. Another beautiful morning, Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Math, West London chapter, singing the Damodarastakam and the beautiful songs of Kartik, which is moving along, the month of Kartik. And I talked with Naveen in Vrindavan yesterday. He said Vrindavan is full, busy. There were 50 lakhs of people there, 500,000 they estimate for Govardhan Puja walking around Govardhan Hill. So the world is going on. And the time is going on, marching on. Jai Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Jai. So one of the songs that we sing in the month of Kartik is this beautiful, the month of Damodar is this Damodarastakam. So, singing that happily, along with a lot of other songs we're singing, and we're learning them as we go along. Hare Krishna. So, what we're doing? Chaitanya Charitamrita. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. We're beginning a new chapter. Chapter 4 of the Adi Leela. Which is the internal reasons for the appearance of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So the last chapter we just finished was the external reasons. And the first reason, can we remember the first reason? Well, that's what you would think, but... Yes, very good. Very good. Go to Hari Prabhu, even in the prone position, he can answer a question. Yes, we just heard that the last time we read. Firstly, it was the call of his, well, it's actually his incarnation. Sri Advaita Prabhu is an incarnation of the Lord in the form of a devotee. And it was his earnest prayer and these beautiful slokas that Kaviraj Goswami is presenting of the Lord saying, if someone's offering me a tulsi leaf and a little water, with love and affection, I am so indebted to them. There's nothing I can do to repay that debt. So the debt is liquidated by I give myself to them. I give myself to them. That's all I can do. So it was Advaita Acharya's compassionate heart, seeing the fallen miserable conditions, and this is 500 years ago, in Bengal, in the Holy Land. This isn't in, Hounslow 2020, or anywhere else. Let's not just pick on Hounslow. Could be Lewisham, could be Dagenham, could be Newham. It could be Barking. Hare Krishna. Just chanting the names of these places is Hare Krishna. Anyway, so it's not. He wasn't there. He wasn't appearing then, now, and there. Here, he was appearing, in what we would think of as being, a much more. But we'd be wrong. Actually, it was, a world of exploitation, a world of repressive governments and death and destruction, a time of infinite varieties of Maya to pull you this way and pull you that way, and misconception, the world, the plane of misconception. So Advaita Prabhu saw all this going on, and he was heartbroken to see the suffering of the people looking for their heart's desire in all this nonsense, both religious and irreligious. So not only irreligious nonsense, but also religious nonsense in the name of religion, adulterated religion, formulaic, legalistic religion going on. So his prayer, and he was thinking, who's going to sort this mess out? He says, it's going to be the Lord. Only the Lord can do anything about this. So, this is all the Lord's Leela. He wanted to come. So first he sends his, what was the phrase used? Can't remember. It was a very sweet phrase, but it meant his associates, his mother and father and his friends and family. They all come. And his dham, everything comes. So they came. So Advaita Acharya, we see him in the pictures of the Panchatattva, and he's usually got a big white beard, showing that he's the oldest, he's the senior there. Mahaprabhu treated him like his senior, as we know, and quite funny incidents pertaining to that, but he was giving all respect and due honor to that, to Advaita Prabhu's seniority. So that was the first reason. It's very sweet. It's even more sweet than just and then propagating the holy name. So the external reasons. So now we're diving into, a very wonderful chapter, an inconceivable chapter, as we go to the internal reasons for the Lord's appearance, diving into the terra incognita, as we heard Goswami Maharaj term it recently, into what is unknown to that Supreme Lord. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Okay, so chapter 4. Sri Chaitanya Prasadena Tad Rupasya Vinirnayam Bhalopi Kurute Shastrang Drishva Vraja Vilasinaha. By the mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, even a foolish child can fully describe the real nature of Lord Krishna, the enjoyer of the pastimes of Vraja, according to the vision of the revealed scriptures. There we go, that's what we were just saying, Didi. That's exactly what we were just saying about the Madanga or anything else. By the mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, even a foolish child can fully describe the real nature of Lord Krishna, the enjoyer of the pastimes of Vraja, that Krishna, according to the vision of the revealed scriptures. This is, Guru Maharaj would say that humility, amongst other things, he would say humility means being open to infinite possibilities. It's humility. Because what's happened, you've taken your ego out of it. Well, this is possible and that's possible, and I can do this and I can't do that, and that, all that's gone. And it's you know, where that service wave will take me, then I will try to that. It's not wonderful. So we know it. You know, it's really true. It can be, you know, like we heard when it was Srila Prabhupada's disappearance day, and Kumkum Didi read the poem that Prabhupada had composed on the Jaladuta, I think in Boston Harbor, I think. You know, where he's saying, I'm just a puppet, you've got to make me dance, I have no capacity to do anything, I am your puppet, please make me dance, please make me dance. And in that, and then to the surrendered devotee, well, we're going to hear in this chapter what becomes possible. So that's a beautiful shloka, and a little unusual. Normally we start with, and all these first chapter shlokas are on the walls of the Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Memorial Building in Vrindavan. Many shlokas on the walls there in Bengali, and it's the first shloka from each chapter of Chaitanya Charitamrita. It's on the wall, so this one is there too somewhere. Okay, Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. All glory to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. All glory to Lord Nityananda. All glory to Shri Advaita Acharya. And all glory to all the devotees of Lord Chaitanya. So now he's going back to verses in an earlier chapter that he's describing, and the verse I think that he's describing was the verse saying he's coming to propagate Nam Sankirtan. So he says, I have described the meaning of the fourth verse. Now, O devotees, kindly hear the explanation of the fifth verse. Just to explain the original verse, I shall first suggest its meaning. And he says that meaning is, I have given the essential... I have given the essential meaning of the fourth verse. This incarnation descends to propagate the chanting of the holy name and spread love of God. Chaturtha shloka arte e kailashara prema nama pracharite e avatara. He's the prema nama avatara. Although this is true, this is but the external reason for the Lord's incarnation. Please hear one other reason, the confidential reason for the Lord's appearance. Satya eheto kinto ehi eho bahiranga ara ekaheto shuna ache antaranga. So listen, that was true, but that was the external reason. Now we're going to hear the real reason. In the 3rd chapter, 4th verse, it has been clearly said that Lord Chaitanya appeared to distribute love of Krishna. This is Srila Prabhupada talking. And the chanting of his transcendental holy name, Hare Krishna. That was the secondary purpose of Lord Chaitanya's appearance. The real reason is different, as we shall hear in this chapter. Hare Krishna. Purve yena pritivera bhara hari bhare Krishna avatina haila shastreta prachare. The scriptures proclaim that Lord Krishna previously descended to take away the burden of the earth. Svayam bhagavanera karma nahe bharaharana Shtiti kata Vishnu karena jagata palana. To take away this burden, however, is not the work of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The maintainer, Lord Vishnu, is the one who protects the universe. So we could say, the Lord has got other people to be God for him, to take care of all that stuff, to relieve burdens and do this and do this, because Krishna is Rasa Raja. He is enjoying pastimes of love with his devotees. So Lord Vishnu can take care of that. Kintu, Krishnara ye haya avatora kala, bhara harana kala tate haila mishala. But the time to lift the burden of the world mixed with the time for Lord Krishna's incarnation. So we have some convergence of divine, inconceivable things. Purna Bhagavan avatara ye kale, ada shaba avatara tanta ashimile. When the complete supreme personality of Godhead descends, all other incarnations of the Lord meet together within him. Fair enough. So many expansions are coming from him. Om Purnam Adaha Purnamidam. That beautiful shloka from Ishopanishad. That so many, the complete whole is always whole, even though so many expansions and things come from him, he remains whole. So everyone, they're all within him. All other incarnations of the Lord meet together within him. Narayana Chatavyuhu Matsadhyavatara Yuga Manvantara Avatara Yata Achyara Sabha Ashi Krishna Ange Haya Avatina Aicha Avatari Krishna Bhagavana Purna. Lord Narayan, the four primary expansions, Vasudev, Shankashan, Prajumna, and Aniruddha, Matsya, and other Leela incarnations, the Yuga avatars, and the Manvantara incarnations, and as many other incarnations as there are all descend in the body of Lord Krishna. In this way, the complete supreme Godhead, Lord Krishna, appears himself. So we were just in Italy and we were here in the Sanatan Shiksha, where Mahaprabhu is instructing Sanatan Goswami on the banks of the Ganga in Kashidam. Yes, Varanasi. Sanatan's in Kashi, right? Yes, he's in Varanasi. And several chapters, it's a long section, and we heard of so many incarnations and expansions, infinite. Lord Ananta Ch.Ch, who has 1,000 heads, talking of snakes, Lord the grand divine snake, Lord Ananta has so many heads and so many mouths. And since before time immemorial, he's been chanting the glories of Hari, chanting the incarnations, the wonder, and will never finish. So, but he's taking Mahaprasadam. Okay, so Jai Shri Guru Gauranga Radha Giridhariji Jai. So they're all within Lord Krishna. He's the original, complete Supreme Godhead. Ataiva Vishnu Takana Krishna Sharira. Vishnu Dvare Kare Krishna Asura Sanghare. Killing the demons. Asura Sanghare. At that time, therefore, Lord Vishnu is present in the body of Lord Krishna. And Lord Krishna kills the demons through him. So even the Guru Maharaj talks about even the killing demon play. It's not our Krishna really. Not Svayam. He's not engaged in that. He's got other things going on. He's got no time for that. No time for that really. Anushanga karma e asura marana, ye lagi avatara kahise mula karana. Thus the killing of the demons is but secondary work. I shall now speak of the main reason for the Lord's incarnation. Hare Krishna. And the slokas of this chapter are just too much beautiful. prema rasa niyasa karite asvadana ragamaga bhakti loke karita pracharana rasika shekhara Krishna parama karuna edui hetu kaite ichara ugama. The Lord's desire to appear was born from two reasons. He wanted to taste the sweet essence of the mellows of love of God. And he wanted to propagate devotional service in the world on the platform of spontaneous attraction. We're talking about love and spontaneous attraction for the Lord and his devotees. And now Vishnupriya is going to school, and every day when she goes to school, she's very sad. She has to leave the devotees. She misses the arti at lunchtime. She's always hungry for prasadam. So she's come to say goodbye, have a good day. So we see some, the devotees carrying some of this wonderful substance. The Lord's desire to appear was born from two reasons. He wanted to taste the sweet essence of the mellows of love of God. And he wanted to propagate devotional service in the world on the platform of spontaneous attraction. Thus he is known as supremely jubilant and the most merciful of all. Rasika Shekhara. Jubilant. I don't know. Rasika Shekhara. I don't know. I'd have to look up this word, Shekhara. Rasiko Shekhara. Anyway, supremely jubilant. We're moving into terra incognita. There's, I was reading this morning this verse where Gurudev's talking about a verse from the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu that talks about this substance called rasa, which is beyond imagination and heavy with wonder. And it lives in the heart's ujvala, it's shining with goodness. This is called rasa. And Gurudev says the first thing we have to understand, rasa, is that it's unimaginable. You can't imagine it. You can't imagine it. He says rasa loka. Rasa loka is beyond the furthest reaches of what is possible for us even to imagine. So this is the subject matter here. What is inconceivable even for God? That's what this is. Because Krishna's not taking Krishna prasadam. He doesn't get prasadam. He gets bhoga. He's the enjoyer of everything. And then, anyway, we're going to hear all this in this chapter. Inconceivable. And so Gurudev starts out with that. The first thing you have to remember about all this stuff is you can't imagine it. It's beyond that. And that's why this scripture, Guru Maharaj refers to as the greatest scripture ever to see the light of day in all time and place and circumstance, the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Thus he is supremely jubilant and is the most merciful of all, Parama Karuna. We don't have any Venezuelans in here at the moment, but Parama Karuna is the deities in, what's it called? Caracas. Oh, and I did hear yesterday from Naveen that Purajit Prabhu and, I always forget his wife's name, but anyway, they have tickets now to go, I think, to Venezuela. Nimai, I think, will go to Ekachakra, but they will go to, they've been in India a long time, since before Gaur Purnim, they got stuck. But I heard that they actually have tickets now to leave in the first week of December. To go back to Venezuela. Yeah. Anyway, that's by the by, but I was just thinking of that because of Parama Karuna. Immediately our minds are running to the temple in Caracas. I've never been there, but Parama Karuna, they're beautiful deities there, and we have so many of that family that branch of the family here in London that we have to think of them. Okay. Aishvarya Gyanate Sabha Jagat Mishrita Aishvarya Shitila Prema Nahi Mora Prita. All the universe is filled with the conception of my majesty. But love, weakened by that sense of majesty, does not satisfy me. Get it? All the universe is filled with the conception of my majesty, but love weakened by the sense of majesty, this Aishvarya Gyanete, does not satisfy me. Amare Ishvara Mane Appanakehina Tara Prema Vasha Ami Nahai Adina. If one regards me as the Supreme Lord and himself as a subordinate, I do not become subservient to his love, nor can it control me. Amaketa yeye bhakta bhaje ye bhave, tare se bhave bhaji e mora svabhave. In whatever transcendental mellow my devotion worships me, in whatever transcendental mellow, bhave is the word, actually. In whatever transcendental bhav or heart substance my devotee worships me, I reciprocate with him. That's my natural behavior. Then Krishnadas Kaviraj is quoting a verse from Bhagavad Gita. Yeyata mang prapadyante tangstataiva bhajamyaham mamavat manuvatante manushya pata sarvasaha. In whatever way my devotees surrender to me, I reward them accordingly. Everyone follows my path in all respects, O son of Prita. Wonderful verse. Everyone is on my path. Okay. Mora putra, mora shaka, mora pranapati, e bhaviye mora kare shuddha bhakti. Appanakke bharamane amara sangahina, se bhava haya ami tahara adina. If one cherishes pure loving devotion to me, thinking of me as his son, his friend, or his beloved, regarding himself as great and considering me as his equal or inferior, I become subordinate to him. Or his inferior. Krishna. Yeah. If one cherishes pure loving devotion to me, thinking of me as his son, his friend, or his beloved, regarding himself as great and considering me his equal or inferior, I become subordinate to him. This cannot be imitated. Mai bhaktir ibhutanam amuni tatvaya kalpate disya yad ashnin mat sneho bhavatinam mad apanaha. Devotional service rendered to me by the living beings revives their eternal life. O my dear damsels of Raja, your affection for me is your good fortune, for it is the only means by which you have obtained my favor. This is from that conversations when the inhabitants of Vrindavan met at Samanta Panchaka. The meeting was intensely painful for the damsels of Rajabhumi because Lord Krishna apparently left them to reside at Dwarka. But the Lord obligingly acknowledged the pure devotional service of the damsels of Braja by speaking this verse from the 10th canto. So anyway, so that's Krishna's own words. Your affection for me is your good fortune, for it is the only means by which you have obtained my favour. That's why we're sitting in Gurudev's temple, which is the temple of love and affection. That's what it is. Divine love, divine affection. Pure love, pure affection. How wonderful that is, and how much we want that. And it's the only thing that's worth aspiring for, actually. And it's so clean and wonderful. Clean, wonderful. This rasa plays in the hearts of those shining with goodness. Like we can,
And normal people cannot understand that.
Well, Hare Krishna. Yeah, well, no, even Krishna can't really understand it. So it is very hard to understand, but the Chaitanya Charitamrita was given for the devotees. We heard just recently so nicely Goswami Maharaj speaking of how it came to be, because, and really the devotees were just begging. He's already in his 90s and they're begging him, because at that time the Chaitanya Bhagavat was there were others as well, but that was the de facto biography of Mahaprabhu, of Vrindavan Das Thakur, which is in another land, ocean of wonder and nectar. Guru Maharaj said that the Chaitanya Bhagavat is rasa without ontology. So it's very sweet and less scientific, we can say. But Krishnadas Kaviraj gives that all the way through, and gives much more of the later pastimes of Mahaprabhu. So all the devotees are coming to Krishnadas Kaviraj, who has received from Svarup Damodar via Raghunath Das Goswami all this wealth, their diaries. Svarup Damodar's diary. I mean, Raghunath Das's notes from, Svarup Damodar's class, So Pandita's got a little book. We've all got our little books in our, where we write things that touch us, or our notes, So, can you imagine what the notebook of Raghunath Das Goswami looked like? So that's all come to Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. So when they're coming to hear from him, this, venerable senior Vaishnava, he's speaking to them stuff that they've never heard before. It's coming directly from the heart of Svarup Damodar and Das Goswami. And they're like, you got to write it down, Prabhu. Please make a book, write it down. You're already very old. When we lose you, this will all be lost. Please, And then very humbly, by the order of the Vaishnava, even with all that wealth, still he wasn't thinking, I'm going to make a book, I'll open a few temples. And he wasn't thinking like that. He was thinking, I'm just a servant of the Vaishnavas. And the Vaishnavas drew it out of him. In his old age, I just can't forget that this literature came from someone who was old, blind, with great happiness and great endeavor, no doubt, came from him. So, so he's talking about his pure devotees. He's talking about his pure devotees and the different flavors of pure devotion. It's not generic. It's not all the same. It's full of variety and how that love and affection captures him. Mata mura putra bhave karine bandhana atina jnana kari lalana palana. Lalana. Nourishing. Mother sometimes binds me as her son. She nourishes and protects me, thinking me utterly helpless. I've got to look after him. He's only a baby. And sometimes she gets some vimohan when she's trying to fish dirt out of his mouth that he's been chewing on, as babies will. And she's like, all the universe is there, and but she snaps herself out of that, What do they say? Sometimes there's rumors in the village that Krishna is in fact the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But she's dismissing that. These people are just envious and they want to take my child away. And it's nonsense, not having that. So, mother sometimes binds me as her son. She nourishes and protects me, thinking me utterly helpless. So these are the devotees we're talking about who have these relationships. Shaka Shuddha Sakya Kare Skanda Arohana Tumi Kon Bhara Loka Tumi Ami Sama. My friends climb on my shoulders in pure friendship, Shuddha Sakya, saying, what kind of big man are you? You and me are equal. Mr. Big Shot on his back. Hare Krishna, Priya Yadi Mana Kare Kore Vatsan, Veda Shtute Haite Hari Se Moraman. If my beloved consort reproaches me in a sulky mood, that steals my mind from the reverent hymns of the Vedas. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. If my beloved consort reproaches me in a sulky mood, that steals my mind from the reverent hymns of the Vedas. And in Revealed Truth, which we should go to really, at least for a few minutes, in Revealed Truth, Gurudev talks so sweetly about how astonished he is, and I'm perpetually astonished how Krishna gives all this stuff, all the Vedas, all the instructions, everything, so much, and then eventually says, forget it all. He says, and I am astonished. And I'm not just and I am perpetually astonished, Gurudev says. I'm always astonished by this. I wasn't just astonished once, years ago. I remember it, and I'm astonished again. So, let me see. Okay.
It's very attractive, right? Knowledge, as this knowledge is very captivating. It's very attractive. It's not about right? Because then
well, we had that quote I'm still thinking about every day, that one from Sri Leka mined it from somewhere she was listening to Guru Maharaj, that the only purpose of knowledge is to increase the feeling that I am the most needy. That's the purpose of knowledge. If it's doing that, it's good. If it's doing anything else, it's deviating from its purpose. Jnana Shunya Bhakti. Guru Maharaj translates it. What's the word? Not really. Anyway, gives it in different ways. He calls it noble ignorance. But the one I particularly like when he's translating Jnana Shunya Bhakti, knowledge, Shunya without Bhakti, Bhakti without that tint. He calls it the most innocent. Jnana Shunya Bhakti is the most innocent. It's not enamored of anything else. It's very, very sweet.
And what you said about humility in the beginning.
Yes.
Yeah. It's like you have to
Hare Krishna.
go with everyone.
Right. That's what we're... we want to be like Srila Prabhupada. We want that, and we want that that feeling in our own hearts, really, without any prejudice, my acquired prejudice that makes me think, that is so strong, it makes me think that I am this body, I am this, all these things. That's how strong it is. It's very strong. So, and it's an ocean that can't be crossed, Mama Maya Durat Yaya, you can't cross it. The only way you can cross it is to give it up, and surrender to me. And which means it means following the Vaishnavas. That's what we have to do. Hearing their words and trying, and in their company, going on, and hearing all the time, because there's so many opportunities to get it wrong. There really is. This line it's not anything generic. It's not. It's the real Dada, Sri Dada, the beautiful Dada, Sri Dada, beautiful Dada, Rupanuga Dada. It's the current that is coming directly from the heart of Mahaprabhu. And it's coming from that divine realm to carry us there, to, and mercifully, inconceivably, not, to a place that we're actually constitutionally unable to enter. We're the dust of consciousness. We talk about consciousness, go to the conscious world. Look, we're always dealing with consciousness. Guru Maharaj saying all the time, we have to look inside to what's going on. It's not just a question of rearranging the furniture. How we are perceiving and digesting, that's the Taktenu Kampam Shushamikshemano. The Lord is my friend, and He's sending me experience, and He's also Hrishikesh, the Lord of perception. Even what I'm perceiving is it's passed under His attentive, watchful eye before you can perceive it like that. Rishikesh. So that's why in Govinda, we can sing that. Maybe we can sing that today. Gopinath. Bhaktivinoda Thakur was saying, Tumi Rishikesh Rishika Damia, you're the Lord of perception. Please help me, help me control my senses. Help me with that. You're the Lord of that. So help me do that. It's very sweet. Like Kaliya Daman, it means the subduer. Tumi Rishikesh Rishika Tumi Rishikesh Rishia Damia. Yeah, you help me to do that. Anyway. Okay, let's finish there from Chaitanya Charitamrita with that last beautiful shloka. Priyayadi mani kari kariye vatsan veda shtuti haite hari se moraman. And then we'll continue. We'll continue with that tomorrow. But we'll read at least one little section just to keep up our momentum and to hear something from Gurudev. This Amnaya Tattva, and where were we on? Yesterday we were, okay, so this little section, so Jai Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki Jai, Shri Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami ki Jai, Shri A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Jai, and Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. We're in a chapter called Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Mood of Devotion, and Gurudev has been using the Shikshastakam to elaborate. The first verse is all these wondrous things that come from the chanting of the holy name. The second verse is, but you've given it all and I can't taste it and I've got no taste. And and then Gurudev's talking, well, why is that? It's because of offense. It's because of ego, the mountain of ego. Then he gives us the solution to that in the third verse. Janada Pisani Janata Rurivasa Hishnu. This, only by this method can we ever hope to invite the holy name to come and, play in our hearts, dance on our tongue. So anyway, this next section is called the Holy Name's Purifying Power. The last little the last quote from the previous section was, Nam Sankirtan is the supreme form of Bhakti Yoga, but only if we chant the Lord's holy name without offense will Krishna Prema appear in our hearts. So, the holy name's purifying power. Mahaprabhu wants everyone to chant the holy name purely, without offense. Offenses are very difficult to avoid and dangerous, but we must avoid them because they are our obstacle in chanting the Lord's holy name. Mahaprabhu shows us his mood of prayer to the holy name to help us attract the holy name's grace, which is what will truly free us from offenses. With the proper mood of prayer and regular chanting practice, we can be hopeful that we can receive the holy name's grace. And there's a quote from the Padma Purana. Nama parada yuktanam namanyeva haranchagam avishranti prayuktani tanyevata karani cha. When the holy name sees our heartfelt desire to try to chant impurely, then he will be merciful to us. We will get the qualifications we need to chant properly. And all our difficulties will go away by his grace. So we've got to show ourselves to be sincere students and practitioners, and Sri Nam himself will think, oh, this poor soul is trying so hard, let me bless it. So that was from the Padma Purana. And then Gurudev says, this is Srila Jiva Goswami Prabhu's realization from the scriptures. We cannot avoid making offenses, but the holy name himself will give us good nourishment and relieve us from our offenses if we have love, affection, and a little connection with him. This is the main thing. This is Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami words. He will give us good nourishment. He will relieve us from our offenses if we have love, affection, and a little connection with him. This is the main thing. If our desire is heartfelt, then we must always continuously try to chant the Lord's names. Continuous, attentive chanting will attract the grace of the holy name to mercifully clean our hearts, remove all our obstacles, and excuse our offenses. Through his Shikshastakam, we can see that Mahaprabhu's first expression and teaching, Cheto Dharpana Marjanam, cleaning the mirror of the mind, comes by the grace of the holy name to the practitioner in the last stage. Mahaprabhu's next prayer in his Shikshastakam is Yugaitam Namishena Chakshusha Prabhishaitam Shunyaitam Jagat Sarvam Govinda Vidahename. We're on 7 now. O Govinda, in separation from you a moment seems like forever. Tears pour from my eyes and the whole world feels empty. When one chants the holy name purely, then one's consciousness is purified, Cheto Dharpana Marjanam. And all the effects of the holy name Mahaprabhu described in his glorification of Harinam Sankirtan, Bhava Mahadavagni Nivarpanam, and so on, which we're learning by singing that first song, appear in one's heart. Then in pure Krishna consciousness, one feels viraha, separation from the Lord, and thinks, I am chanting the Lord's name, but still I am not chanting in the proper way. One then desires to chant the holy name more and more purely. Okay, we'll finish the chapter, one more little section. The Lord of our heart. Mahaprabhu ends his Shikshastakam with this prayer. Ashlisa papada tampinastu mam adashana mama hatam korotuva yata tatava vidadata lampato mat prananatastu sa eva napara. Krishna may embrace me or break my heart by denying me his darshan. Krishna, the Gopa Vadhu Lampat, enjoyer of the cowherd men's wives, may do whatever he likes. He will always be the Lord of my heart. When a servitor will enter into his service life with this type of mood, he will have the mood of full dedication to the Lord. Different kinds of examinations, sometimes painful examinations, will come to him in his spiritual life. But he will not be able to leave the Lord's lotus feet. He will not see anything except the Lord's service, and will not be able to leave the Lord's connection in any way. His only target will be Krishna and his service. The mood of Mahaprabhu's final expression is Krishna can do anything and everything with me. He has full right over me. I will always be his servitor's servitor. I have no other ego or ideal. This verse also has a deeper, and a deepest meaning, and all of them will automatically be revealed in our hearts through our service mood. We will naturally be able to see, feel, and embrace those ideals when they are revealed to us. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not write many verses or give many instructions. He simply gave the gist of all instructions in his Shikshastakam. There is no way to proceed in our spiritual life or in our chanting of the Lord's holy names without following the directives of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu given in his Shikshastakam. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Shikshastakam is our life and soul. We will try until death to proceed according to its instructions, and we must be benefited to the utmost by that. Jai, Srila Gurudev, Jai, Shri Shikshastakam Ki Jai. So very fortunately, in this month of Kartik, we've been singing, almost every day we've been singing all or some of those songs of Bhakti Vinod Thakur, along with the verses of Shikshastakam. And such is our good fortune that we're able to have that in our lives. That's come from Gurudev, has given the Shikshastra, given everything, and now we have to take that happily take that medicine and disinfectant for the age of Kali. And we will take that and it will clean us, and we are taking the vaccine. Hare Krishna. Happily. So, Shri Amnaya Tattva Ki Jai and Shri Revealed Truth Ki Jai, Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Deva Swami Maharaj Ki Jai. Sachidev, have you sang anything today?
Yeah.
Oh, you did? Oh, did you sing today?
No.
Oh, you didn't?
No, he didn't.
Oh, it's roll. At least he's got...
Jai!
So we can conclude with a final song. Hare Krishna. Oh, yes.
Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha.
Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha.
Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha.
Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha.
Gopal Govindaram Shri Madhusudana.
Gopala Govindaram Shri Madhusudana.
Giridhari Gopinatha Madana Mohana.
Giridhari Gopinatha Madana Radha Giridhari Ji ki jai, Shri Bhakti Mala Ch.Ch Maharaj ki jai, Jai Shri Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj ki jai, Shri Bhakti Rakha Shri Goswami Maharaj ki jai, Bhagavan Shila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki jai, Shri Rupanuga Guru Bhaga ki jai, Shri Chaitanya Saraswati Acharya Binda ki jai, all the assembled devotees ki jai, all the unassembled devotees ki jai, all the Venezuelan devotees ki jai, all the Colombian devotees ki jai, all the world devotees ki jai, Gaura Premanande,
Haribo,
Nitai Gaura.